Well, Gaffer, another game looms. A hefty away trip down to Torquay. How has the sort of one day of full training that you've been able to get in gone?
Yeah, really well. I mean, a bit chillier this morning than it has been over the past few days, but the lads were really great. I think the ones that had a rest on Tuesday night were raring to go, so we were able to get a bit more into the legs. Obviously, we've looked at a couple of things that we feel Torquay are very strong at, and how we're going to combat that. But also, we've got to think about ourselves and how we want to take the game to them. So, obviously, there's one or two new faces around the building, and that means the lads are already in here got to get to learn how they play. So, we've had a little bit longer on the training ground this morning, which has been good because we haven't been able to do that with the Saturday-Tuesday programme in the first 3 weeks. So, nice to get some touch time with the lads, and the level was really good.
And it's a long trip down. Obviously, times like this makes you grateful that Truro got promoted. We don't have to do that trip this year. But with these games where it's really far away and it sort of disrupts the schedule on the Friday, does that play a factor, or is it something to just ignore?
Well, it's part and parcel of the game. The higher you go up, the more often that'll happen. So, I've already been to Truro this season, as you're probably aware, and that was on a Tuesday or Wednesday night, actually, after a trip to Gateshead the previous Saturday. So the fixtures sometimes can be very, very difficult, but ultimately we've known it's coming, so we've prepared correctly. We'll be travelling down there on the Friday and stopping off at somewhere to train lightly on the way. That's why again it was handy we got more time with the guys this morning. But we're not going to use anything as an excuse or a reason for us not to perform. As long as the lads come out at Torquay and give the best version of themselves, then I'll be happy. I can't argue or I can't moan too much since I got to the football club that they're not giving what they've got. And I think as we go along and little bits that we're tweaking and changing and new faces arriving, I think it will ultimately make us stronger. And that's the aim, really.
Well, Saturday stands out as a chance for Harry Phipps to make his league debut, but also a new signing in the camp, Max coming in. Obviously a player you've worked before, obviously a player you rate, but is it an extra little bonus that he already knows the way you play, he already knows your system, he should be able to slip right in there?
Hopefully. I mean, that's part of it. It seems to be the case the way Harry's seamlessly joined the group in training, and obviously he played a good hour in the game on Tuesday night, and came through that unscathed, which is huge positive. The lads like Maxwell and Kai have worked with me more recently than Harry, so they'll be used to my little idiosyncrasies in the way I want things done on the training ground, but also on the pitch. And Maxwell brings, I think he's played about 70 or 80 times in the National League, so he's a lad I feel has got a career, a good career in the game, and hopefully for him above this level. But if he can come down here and help us, improve our situation ultimately immediately, and then we look at the longer picture in the future. But yeah, I'm delighted that Max he's decided to come along. I was made aware that he was surplus to requirements, and so as quickly as I could, I moved to try and bring him down here, and I'm delighted he's joined us.
He's an incredibly versatile player. By his own admission, he plays up to 6 positions. I'm sure you'll have an idea of what his better positions are, but do you think you're going to use that versatility and deploy him in a number of different places on the pitch this year?
Well, it's handy if he's on the pitch that you can fit him into different areas, but I think with all due respect, by him dropping a level, I think he should, and we've talked about this, want to concentrate on nailing a position down himself. It Aldershot, it was a luxury for me as a manager to have a lad who, touchwood, was very rarely not available to play, and when he did play, he very rarely looked out of place wherever he played. So that is a tick in the box. It always will be for him. But ultimately, I'm sure he wants to nail one particular place down. Hopefully it's the same position that I see him playing in.
And what does he add in terms of the camp itself? I know Kai's been a very strong character and a presence. Is he one of those lads who, despite his age, you want to be having him use his experience to be one of those leaders out there?
Yeah, I mean, whilst he's still 22 going on 23, which is young in the game, he's been around first team football in an environment just a level higher than this for a good couple of years now. Well, since I went to when I joined Aldershot, I made him part of the first team group, and he actually started the first season, and he was in and around and played a lot of minutes for me up there. So yeah, I completely expect him to bring, like Kai has, the culture that they were used to working to on a daily basis down at Eastbourne, because ultimately I believe if your culture on a daily basis and the training ground around the dressing room just becomes second nature on a match day, in that's about practicing habits and routine and things like that make you a successful player individually, but therefore collectively, and that's the aim for everybody here.
Well, just finally then, Torquay looms. I'm sure we'll have a great away following, especially considering the distance, but the sad fact of the stadium is the size of it. It's going to be hard for them to out-sing the home fans, but you'll be excited to see them regardless.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, in the summer it will be a lovely day out, and if the sun shines like it is out there, it might look like a lovely day, but we always appreciate the travelling fans, and it is a long old hike down there, but I'm sure they'll have at least a busload down, and we'll make sure we make a fuss of them down there on the day, and we will try to bring something back positively in terms of points. So, it'll be the longest trip that we have this season, so we understand we won't be able to match them vocally, I wouldn't have thought, but it's something that we understand is part of us, to be honest with you. The away games we've had so far, it's been noticeable, even though they've been outnumbered, they certainly haven't been outsung, and that's something we look forward to hearing again at the weekend.